وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal, teach us what benefit us from what He taught us, and increase us in knowledge. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. My dear, beloved, respected brothers and sisters, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make me and you from the people who listen and apply. Another extremely important topic. You know, the need to be accepted as a human being is part of our nature. We all want to belong. We all want to fit in. And to achieve that, sometimes we present a different version of ourselves in order to fit depending on the environment and whose company we are in. Now, we are doing all that to avoid being alienated. And the most intense form of alienation is when we do that, and this is very dangerous, when we start tweaking our principles and watering down our religion and watering down our beliefs in order to fit in. This is dangerous because we feel like strangers. My brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود كما بدأ غريبا فطوبى للغرباء. Islam began as something strange, and it will go back to being something strange. So, great tidings, glad tidings, good news to the strangers. May Allah make us among the people who are strangers. There are two categories of strangers. The first is having ghurba, feeling strange among non-believers, among unbelievers. And that is emphasized in many places in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, He said, فَأَبَى أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ إِلَّا كُفُورًا. Most of mankind refused and accepted nothing but disbelief. They accepted nothing but disbelief. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَقَلِيلٌ مَا هُمْ. Except those who believe and did righteous deeds, and they are very few. لَقَدْ جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَكُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. Indeed, we have brought truth to you, Ya Muhammad, but most of you have a hatred for the truth. And many more ayat. Now, let me give you an example of being gharib. Recently, one of the very well-known Muslim soccer player, Idrissa, he's a Senegalese footballer. He chose not to attend the match wearing a t-shirt displaying symbol of the LGBT movement. And he was given very tough choices. But he stuck to his belief. And he felt like he's gharib among all these people. They're accepting it. What's the big deal? It's just a shirt. Just wear the shirt. No. He said, this is something haram in our deen, and I will never promote something haram. He felt like a gharib, like a stranger. Now, the second kind of strangers, which is, subhanAllah, that is the disturbing one, is when you feel strangers among Muslims. When the practicing Muslim feel as a stranger among secular, non-practicing Muslims. They want to, when you mention the topic of, for example, of alcohol, they go and they start raising, what's the big deal? It's only, I'm drinking a little bit, and they start telling you, where does it say in the Quran, haram? It says only ijtanibu, even though we explained before that the word ijtanibu is bigger than haram. Because it was used with worshipping idols. Allah used the same verb for worshipping idols. He used it with alcohol. When You tell them about that smoking is not allowed. The Muslims start rising. What's the big deal? It's only this and that, and it's makruh, and many scholars are saying it's okay. Ya akhi, on the box it says, do not, smoking kill you, and Allah said, do not kill yourself. Subhanallah. And they, of course, if somebody tell the brother that you are selling alcohol, you're opening smoke shops. This is something very popular right now. Many Muslims are opening smoke shops. Ya akhi, fear Allah, ya akhi. Smoke shops. And if you tell them something, oh, you are being extremist. Well, I don't smoke it. I only sell it. I don't drink it. I only sell it. Ya akhi, ta'awanu ala al-birri wat-taqwa. Help one another, doing good, and do not help one another commit sins, even if it's non-Muslims. We're supposed to be the example for the community. So if you see Muslims fighting you, Muslims arguing with you, when the roles of motherhood and homemaking are praised and raised above all, it is Muslims in many instances who are the first to protest. What? Let the woman go out and it's okay. Alhamdulillah, if she goes out and she works and she can balance between her home and work, Allahu Akbar. But the kids are suffering, the husband is suffering, and these are the ones that you will be questioned about. The most noble job ever is being a mother, subhanallah, and raising the new generations on the deen. And the minute you mention that, you feel like you're a gharib, and they look at you that, what are you talking about? We are in 2023 and all that stuff, subhanallah. The image of gharib is that of reserved. People think that when you are a gharib, you're weak, you're helpless, you're disheveled, and you live in an invisible life, and you're not involved in anything, and you're not successful. No, that's absolutely not true. There are doctors who are gharib. There are engineers that are gharib. There are IT specialists that are gharib. Because my job has nothing to do with my beliefs and my deen. My job I will only take my job if it aligns with my deen. If somebody left a job that makes $400,000-$500,000 a year because it deals with haram, he's gharib. Are you crazy? What's the big deal? No. He knows that Allah comes first. And he feels like a gharib. People are looking at him, you're majnoon. How could you leave such a job with all those benefits, all the vacations and all that stuff, just because it's with the alcohol, just because it's with the pork, just because with the interest? Ya akhi, Allah is the Razzaq, and I'm going to leave anything for His pleasure. These are now ghuraba. The people who think like this are strangers. And subhanallah, when Rasulullah was asked, who is the gharib? I want myself and you to ask yourselves, am I a gharib? Am I a stranger? Rasulullah when he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, who are the ghuraba? He replied, الَّذِينَ يَصْلُحُونَ إِذَا فَسَدَ النَّاسِ. Those who remain righteous when people become corrupt. In another narration, الَّذِينَ يُصْلِحُونَ مَا أَفْسَدَ النَّاسِ مِنْ بَعْدِي مِنْ سُنَّتِي. They are the ones who rectify what people have corrupted from my sunnah after me. And another narration, أناس صالحون في أناس سوء كثير من يعصيهم أكثر ممن يطيعهم. They are righteous individuals in the middle of many evil people. Those who reject them are far more than those who accept them. Now, having defined what is a stranger, are you a stranger? Do you feel like you're a stranger? Or do you feel like you fit in everywhere you go? If you do not feel that strangehood in your life, something is wrong. Because we are living in such a corrupted environment these days, from the social media to everything, even to our weddings, everything is corrupt lately. And everything is, many times you have events and occasions that are against our deen, and we just fit in order not to upset the people. But we are ready to upset Allah at any cost. Subhanallah. When you say, I'm not going to that place because everybody is mixed and the music is playing and all that, you're a gharib. Great news for you, my brother. Great news for the Muslim woman who wears her proper hijab and she feels like a ghariba because everybody around her is half naked. You are a ghariba, my sister, and you should be proud of it. Great news for that person who, with all this corruption, he's still, my brother, you're still lowering your gaze. Great news for you because you are a stranger. Great news to the one who only accept income from halal sources. Great news to the one who prays on time wherever he is or wherever she is. Nothing will stop them from praying on time. You are a stranger, my brother. Great news to the one who have one version of themselves, which they present to anyone in front of everybody. Now, my brothers and sisters, again, ask yourself, are you a stranger? Because Rasulullah ﷺ gave glad tidings to the strangers. Now, subhanallah, you want to express your feelings. You feel like, if you go on I'm not talking about extremism. I'm talking about just going by قال الله قال Rasul. You feel like, people call you names, backward, all radical, all kinds of names. My brother, my sister, connect with Allah Azza wa Jal and know that when you are connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is with you. Let me ask you a question. If all mankind are praising you and Allah is against you, and if Allah is with you and all mankind is against you, what do you care? Subhanallah, the King of Kings, the Almighty Himself is with me. I'm doing it only for His pleasure, because you will never be able to please all the people. So feeling stranger is very, very healthy. And we ask Allah to make us amongst those strangers, because even though they are strangers and very few in this dunya, but they will be the majority in Jannah. Allahumma ja'alna min ahl al-Jannah ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah make our last deeds our best deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our last words La ilaha illallah. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
كتاب أنزل إليك فلا يكن في صدرك حرج منه لتنذر به وذكرى للمؤمنين